Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy DLloyd. So today we have found out the pretty bad news that NBA Live 20 has been delayed. So basically what everybody was thinking and speculating about ended up being true. NBA Live will not be releasing during the slated early September timeframe that we've seen the last few years. Instead, it will come out in Q4 of 2019, which means anywhere from October to December, this game could come out. Now, looking at the track record from EA and when NBA Live games have gotten delayed, is really not good, and that ultimately what worries me, right? We've seen NBA Elite 11 get quote-unquote delayed right before the release of NBA Elite 11, and NBA Elite 11 never actually came out. It ended up ultimately getting canceled. Fast forward to NBA Live 13, that game got delayed, ultimately got canceled. NBA Live 17 got delayed, ultimately got canceled. So we've heard this before from EA that, we're going to try a different approach. And that's the same excuse they're using now. We're going to try a different approach. What different approach are you going to try? Now, I'm a marketing director, so I'm not at the same, level of what the EA executives are getting paid. But when you look at it and you look at how the marketing guys are trying to frame this up, right? We're trying a different approach. But we know a couple of things from NBA Live. We know NBA Live did not sell very well, especially on Xbox consoles, but overall it still did not sell very well to where you could envision EA actually making their money back after the marketing dollars has been spent and then of course the production of the game. You're not sure how much they're, profiting off of NBA Live, especially from EA, a company that is that greedy. They always want the money. It's not the most profitable game out there. On top of that, NBA 2K has still been steadily getting better, right? They're looking at what they're doing with microtransactions. NBA 2K is killing it. Just Take-Two as a company with Grand Theft Auto, they are killing it when it comes to microtransactions and bringing in even more money off the microtransactions than they are on just the physical game sales. NBA Live, they put out the one, but really what the one ended up being was a fun game mode that people really praised because there wasn't microtransactions in the game, but that really didn't lead to that many more sales. You will constantly see NBA Live on sale for $10, $15, $5 at one point because they're trying to get people into the game. Now, many of you guys know, especially if you've been subscribing to me for a while and see my videos, I'm a big NBA Live fan. I try to do franchises on NBA Live as much as possible. That's one of the first series on my channel was the NBA Live franchise series. I enjoy NBA Live. Now, with that said, to me, it's all, up to the individual, right? But to me, NBA 2K is the better game. Of course, it's a more simulation style of basketball, right? NBA Live to me is more arcade, but it could also be sometimes more fun and spurts for me to play that game because when I play NBA Live, I'm in the mindset of a more arcade game. So I'm expecting people to get dunked on all the time, people's ankles to get broken all the time. I'm expecting that type of gameplay when I play a game like NBA Live. When I play a game like NBA 2K, I'm expecting it to be as realistic as possible, right? I want your bird rights in the game. I want, free agent decisions to come down more than just who offers the most money. NBA Live's franchise is very bare bones, but you can still carve out a lane with that style. We've seen it before back when EA and 2K used to compete, this time on the football scene back in 2004, 2005, right? Madden 2005 was a more arcade game. ESPN NFL 2K5 was a more simulation game. But even though Madden was more of an arcade game, a lot of people liked it. Some people preferred that over a game even like NFL 2K5, which was very realistic, had the presentation down packed. You can literally go through and decide what you guys want to practice on that week and have team meetings. A lot of stuff that aren't even in franchise games. Now you had it back NFL 2K5. But Madden 2005 had the hit stick that was just fun to use. You had the playmaker controls, which was also fun to use. You could drop back literally 20, 25 yards, scramble around, throw a deep ball, and really not have that much of a penalty at all. Back in Madden 2005, some people enjoy that gameplay. Me, I had both, and you enjoy both for what it was. I felt the same way with NBA Live. NBA Live to me wasn't as good as 2K. But I could enjoy NBA Live for what it was, and I could play games and have fun as long as I'm not sitting down dissecting and competing every little small thing. I enjoyed the game. The one mode you got was basically NBA Superstar / and one mixtape guy. He was a real life Ray for Austin, right? Skip to my Lou. That's basically what the one was. But I wasn't looking for it to be super realistic or have the most branching storyline. I had fun with the one, right? Just this is my character. I want to be as good as I can get. If I can make him a 99, we're going to get to a 99. That's what I enjoyed doing. So I think NBA Live has a lane that if they carefully put out a product, they could carve in to, people actually buying it. I don't think they'll be as big as 2K because people are just so used to that game. It's going to take a lot, or it's going to take 2K to continuously keep messing up, which they have been doing in the past, for NBA Live really to step in and take that market. But just as its own, with lower expectations, I think NBA Live has that lane. Now, what scares me about it is, with that being said, I think EA, they want to be as profitable as possible, right? And with how many, social influencers, right, talk about the game, people in the 2K community, they just talk really bad about NBA Live, which, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve any hate because it's not the greatest game ever. It is fun, but they compare it too much, right? I still overall think the competition was good. I still think the fact that NBA Live was there made NBA 2K an even better game. Now, to me, NBA 2K11 was the best NBA 2 game of all time. Like the best game overall complete package that I've played was 2K11. Not just because Jordan was in it, even though that did elevate it. I just think overall was the best game. But I don't think that's a coincidence because NBA Live 10 was a very good game at the time. NBA 2K10 introduced crew mode. NBA Live 10 had live run, I believe it was called at the time. They had some pretty cool things, even in franchise mode at the time. It was a fun game to play, and probably on the 360, the best NBA Live experience you can get was NBA Live 10. NCAA Basketball 10 was also a pretty decent game as well, but it was a good game, and that pushed NBA 2K to making it an even better game. I'm hoping NBA Live could still be there. I'm thinking NBA Live 19 pushed NBA 2K20 to be a better game, right? Because now we're seeing 2K20 put out an actual demo, not just the prelude. They're pushing it out earlier than we've seen it in years past. I think that was a counter to NBA Live putting out their stuff in August. I think now you've seen 2K kind of doing that. So the influence in the competition is there, but it helps elevate both parties involved. But at the same time, I think NBA Live just needs to stick to their own lane, right? You got to keep gradually improving. Year after year after year, you have to keep gradually improving. Find what you do best, stick to it, and make it as fun of a game, as best of an experience as possible. I'm hoping that's what the final product of NBA Live 20 ends up being if we ever get the final product. And that's what I'm worried about, like I said before. I just have a gut feeling that this game could be canceled. I 100% hope I am wrong. I would love to play NBA Live 20. If it came out September like I thought it originally hopefully could have been, I was going to buy it day one. I like both games that much that I'm going to buy both of them day one. But the fact that it's getting delayed scares me. And from a business perspective, you start thinking, does canceling it altogether make more sense, right? By the time you put out a game in October, people have an entire month playing NBA 2K20. A lot of the factor that a lot of people get excited for the new games, right? And they upgrade so quickly to the new game without really playing it, seeing improvement, none of that, just upgrade right away, are the rosters, right? People are going to want to play with Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, Ja Morant. They're going to want to get their hands on those guys. That's why roster sharing is so huge, right? And people are downloading rosters, put the new put the real draft classes in the game. They want to play with these guys. You get a chance to play with the guy, but typically, you want to do that ASAP. You have an entire month to play with Zion Williamson before NBA Live comes out. So you're not going to buy NBA Live so you can play with the new rosters. You may be more logical and say, well, I have Live 19. I could just keep this game. When you put out information, Live was smart before by putting all of their stuff out before 2K really got a chance. Maybe it was too early because some of the hype died down before the actual release of the game. And I could argue that from a marketing standpoint, but Overall, it was a good strategy that they implemented, right? Middle of August, you had a demo for NBA Live. Then you knew you weren't going to get the prelude to the very beginning of September. So you had about a week, 2 weeks to really get as many people to play your game as possible to maybe sway their opinion. You're not going to get that this time around. People have played the other game, the full game, for a month, especially a game in like 2K, right? You're thinking a month in. You bought your build. If you're playing My Park, Jordan Pro Rec Center, any of that stuff, you spent your money there, right? You spent your money on my team. You're at least a season in, a couple seasons into your My League, My GM. You're invested in NBA 2K. If you start dropping trailers in September for NBA Live 20, remind you again, we don't even know who the cover athlete is or was or who they thought it could be. It's kind of late to build that excitement up unless this trailer is just turning heads. It's really the only way. Or you're banking on 2K20 just being bad and people just saying, I can't deal with this game. I'm going to this new game. It's going to be very tough to sell an NBA game a month after the number one NBA game has been out on the market. And I'm a marketing director myself in my full-time job, right? So when you look at it from a marketing standpoint, I could very well see EA coming out with a PR release that's saying, oh, well, we're going to end up canceling this game. We're going to make sure our development team gets more time to make the best NBA Live that we could possibly make to make sure we put out the best game for the consumer, and we're focusing on next gen. I can see something like that coming out because we know next gen right around the corner at the end of 2020. I can see something like that from EA, but it's basically them saying we're not as confident that we could sell and move as many games as possible. Because at the end of the day, EA, we know how greedy EA is, right? They're trying to make this money. They don't see it in NBA Live, at least with the product they have right now. Something happened. We don't know if there was a hiccup in development, but when you're delaying a game because you want to take a different approach how? The one was your different approach. What are you doing in an extra month that's going to make the game that much different or make marketing that much different? I think if anything, it makes it more difficult. I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully they can prove me wrong. But I see ultimately this game could be just flat out canceled. If it does come out, I don't see the sales being that strong, especially after the delay and putting it out in October or November or December, whenever they think on putting this game out in Q4. I just don't think it's the greatest decision. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they put out a game. I'm excited for NBA Live 20. I'm going to play NBA Live 20 if it comes out. But it looks like to me, like what I'm fully preparing in my mind is that I won't play an EA basketball game until NBA Live 21, hopefully, potentially. Just on next gen, I don't know what they're going to try to do with that. But hopefully I'm wrong. But you guys let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section below. Do you think we'll ever see NBA Live 20 hit store shelves? Will it actually ever release? Do you think this delay could be good for NBA Live? And let me know how you think this affects NBA 2K as well, because this is not a one-man race. I think that competition being there for 2K helped 2K get better. Without that, 2K could start resting on the morals a little bit more, and maybe they don't put the best foot forward in the future years. But you guys let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section below. It's your boy D Lloyd. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace.